What do we mean by reproduction? The word reproduction would mean to reproduce. When one organism produces another organism just like itself, we call this process as reproduction. And what does it depend on? Do you think we need a specialized body structure in order to reproduce? As a matter of fact, yes we do. But what about organisms like amoeba? They do not have specialized organs for reproduction. How do they reproduce and multiply? The answer is quite simple. They use the method of binary fission. The term binary comes from the word bi, which means two, and fission means dividing. The amoeba's body splits into two parts and forms two new cells. Let us see how this actually takes place. The nucleus in the amoeba contains the chromosomes of the organism. The DNA in the chromosomes replicates and forms another set of similar chromosomes. Once this is done, they are pushed into the two extremes of the cell. And at the same time, the cell grows and expands. What do you think will happen next? The plasma membrane of the cell develops a constriction and it begins to grow inward. This process is called as the cytokinesis. Once this process is complete, the cell separates and forms two new cells. These are called as the daughter cells and they are identical to each other. In this process, only one cell was involved in reproduction. We call such a reproduction as asexual mode of reproduction. Which other methods do you think would need only one parent to reproduce? Budding. That's right. Budding is another method which requires just one parent to form new organisms. For example, Hydra uses budding to reproduce. What exactly happens in this process of asexual reproduction? This is the body of a Hydra. Can you spot a small outgrowth on the body of the Hydra? Yes, right here. There is a small outgrowth here. This outgrowth is formed due to repeated cell division at this particular site. What do we call such an outgrowth? We call it as a bud, and as days pass by, the bud will further grow outward. It will take all the nutrition it needs from the parent Hydra to grow and develop. After some days, the bud will resemble a tiny Hydra with the elongated body and tentacles. What happens once the new Hydra is formed? Once the baby Hydra is completely formed, it will pinch off from the parent Hydra and will now lead an independent existence. This process is called as budding, where organisms develop from a bud on the parent body into a completely new organism. However, the organism cannot separate from the parent body until it is completely formed and it depends on the parent for nutrition. If in any case, the bud detaches from the parent before it's completely formed, the organism will not survive. However, there are a few other methods of asexual reproduction where the organisms do not necessarily need to be in contact with the parent. Do you want to learn more about them? You surely must watch our next video to know more.